The season is very, very near to us, and we're talking what you shouldn't be sleeping on. Don't you dare think that these things won't happen, because they may in fact happen next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint. I am Daniel. Today's episode brought to you by Ultimate College Football Head Coach. More on them in a minute. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen of the day. Thanks for being an everydayer. If you're here every single day, you guys are the best. I know the season's coming up, and so there's a whole gaggle of people that are re-engaging to their Georgia football fandom, and we welcome you back with open arms. We're happy to have you. As a reminder, Clint and I are Georgia fans. That's why we started this podcast, not because we're gurus, not because we're insiders, not because we have some special link to some information that no one else has access to that we want to hide behind a paywall. It's because we like Georgia and we like talking about Georgia, and we have a good time doing it, and we think you have a good time joining in the conversation as well. And so send us an email, lockedonbulldogs@gmail.com. Interact with us on Twitter @Dawgs Podcast. Leave us a comment. Leave us a rating and review. All those things are helpful. Glad to have you back for the season. Next week is game week.
Come on.
And so when we roll into Monday, you understand, we're going to be talking about the Clemson Tigers. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Clemson. We're going to be looking at our offense versus their defense, their offense versus our defense, all of those things. We're going to be talking about the coaching matchup. We're going to be talking about who has what advantage where. We're going to be looking at Kirby's presser in the middle of the week. We're going to be giving out locks on Thursday. And every Friday, we like to do a thing called Excited, Nervous, Don't Sleep On during the season, where we give you something for that week that we're excited about, something we're nervous about, something you shouldn't be sleeping on. But we thought it would be appropriate here on the sort of the eve of college football.
Yeah, that's right.
To go for a season long, don't sleep on for the Georgia Bulldogs, because maybe you are just tuning back in, or maybe you've been engaged this whole offseason with this Georgia football team, but maybe there's still some things that you haven't been thinking about that you should. And I'm not going to lie to you, Clint. I'm going to start this first segment with my first don't sleep on, and I'm a little bit peeved.
Okay.
Like I'm a little upset.
He's mad
because I had a really good and what I thought was going to be a pretty spicy don't sleep on in the hopper. I've had it there for a week and a half. I've been sitting on it. I wanted to bring it up to you. I wanted to bring it up on the show, but I thought, no, I'm going to save it.
He's a content creator, guys.
I create the content. And then wouldn't you know it?
What happened?
The Georgia PR communications director said, you know who we should send out to just chat with the media? Let's send out Damon Wilson out there to just chat and meet with the media. We're going to talk more about that in a second, but let me not bury the lead any further. Don't sleep on Damon Wilson Jr. Leading this team in sacks this year. I'm talking about more sacks than any other player, including players named Michael Williams.
Hello.
I think Damon Wilson is going to have a monster year. And the fact that we just got to hear from him, I'm not saying it confirms my suspicions that he's going to have a big year, but if you are fluent in Curbinese, then you would know that it certainly helps my case that Damon Wilson is due for a monster year this year. I think he's going to play a ton coming off the edge at that outside backer spot. Chaz Chambliss is, I guess, technically in front of him.
Please let's not.
But
please let's not.
But he talked a lot about putting on weight and being ready for first and second down. Here's what that told me. He's ready for first and second down. Yep, that's good. That's to take Chaz's spot. Do you know what else that told me? He's already the third down guy. Like he's already locked that up.
He found his little niche, and then he said, I want more. Give me more.
Yeah. Now I know Jalen's going to be in there as well. And but I think Damon's going to have a monster season. And dang it, Clint, if listening to that interview, if he didn't become one of my favorite players on this team, I felt some feelings.
He can talk, Daniel. He can talk.
Yeah.
Daniel, it's a thing. We're going to get back to this. I'm going to give you a don't sleep on, but first, these. And these are, in fact, ultimate GM, ultimate football head coach experience. Locked On Bulldog fans, we know that you love playing college football games any chance you get. And I want to take a moment and give you a heads up on a brand new mobile game that I think you're going to love as much as I do. Ultimate College Football Head Coach. It's the amazing simulation. You get to step into the shoes of head coach of Kirby Smart and them Georgia Bulldogs, and you get to imagine what's like being him and taking care of guys like Damon Wilson Jr. From recruiting players, hiring coaching staff, to overseeing training camps and handing out school scholarships, Ultimate College Football Head Coach is completely free, no ads, and 100% playable offline. You can play on the go as you want and when you want. And of course, we have a special Locked On listener absolute bonus. Use the promo code Locked On College Football CFB, all caps, inside the game store to receive a free boost to your program. Make sure you take advantage of this perk. You'll get your team off to a strong start. Download the game. Just use ultimate-cfb.com, ultimate-cfb.com, or look it up in the App Store. Ultimate College Football Head Coach. Begin your coaching legacy today. Daniel, that is a fantastic one. Michael Williams looks like he's going to go ahead and be a high draft choice. I think he might suffer a little bit of what happens draft time. We always see these guys who get limited statistical experience, I should say, but go high on the draft boards because of the upside they have. Look at what Kamari Lassiter is doing right now in the NFL, locking down.
I'm sorry. Does D'Amico Ryans have anything to say about Kamari Lassiter? Did he have anything to say about the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart? If you haven't seen that video,
D'Amico Ryans, look right now. D'Amico Ryans,
cancel everything.
Now he's a Georgia homer though, right?
Noted Georgia homer.
Oh no, noted Saban homer. He said, if you want an NFL.
He knows who the standard is what you're saying.
He knows the standard. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he knows if you want an NFL ready player, just go shopping in the Georgia aisle. Kamari Lassiter. So I think,
to be fair, I don't think Jalen's going to have a bad season. I don't think Mike Hill's going to have a bad season. I just think that they're not going to lead this team in sacks.
Do you remember the hip bend around the corner, Daniel, from Damon Wilson Jr. that I saw? Because I saw it and I couldn't unsee it because I said,
we're going to be seeing it.
Oh, that's different.
Man's living with his parents. Mom's out there cooking breakfast for him, like just trying to achieve his dreams. I love the kid.
You know the sausage patty, don't you? Biscuit and gravy. Yeah, let's get a little scoop of gravy on.
All right, what's your don't sleep on here,
guys? I know we have talented receivers. I know we have talented running backs.
We do.
I know we're going to balance our offense quite a bit.
Okay.
But here's also what I know.
Okay.
I know that we have a speedy as all get out wide receiver who may or may not be reliable catching the football. I know London Humphreys came on over via transfer. I know we have Colby Young transfer portal. I know we have Humphreys in the portal coming on over. Talent has been increased quite a bit. Dylan Bell is fantastic. We're losing one wide receiver. We still have a couple of transfer guys from last year that are on the squad. Oscar Delp looks like he is incredible, but there's been a notable name that I've omitted so far from the list of notable pass catchers at UGA.
Okay.
Tell me Carson Beck's not used to throwing to the tight end a lot in this offense with Mike Bobo.
He doesn't hate it. He doesn't hate doing it. I'll tell you that.
All the receptions that Brock Bowers got last year have to be disseminated out to others. And I think Oscar Delp is a huge threat vertically. I think he is talented and athletic, but if you just need a first down, if you need a tight window to get on in for a tud, if you need a play action where you're going to roll out and find a one-time award watch list player over at the West Coast of Stanford, Ben Urosic, Don't sleep on him being second. Yes, I said second on this team in receptions this year, Daniel. Don't you dare sleep on it for one moment. Word out of camp is this guy experience. Check. Carson Beck, does he like having reliable pass catchers that he can trust in a pinch? Yeah, he does. Is he an NFL caliber quarterback that's not going to force the ball on anybody? Yeah, he is. Ben Yurosek knows how to get open, knows how to have a huge catch radius to block out defenders. I think in this offense, he's going to be great. I think Oscar Delp has more maybe yards per catch average. I said number of receptions. I didn't say touchdowns. I didn't say yardage. Don't sleep on Ben Yurosek having the second most receptions on this team.
Listen, I don't hate it. We talked about it a few weeks ago. This kid, I think, he's an underthought about player. And I think people are going to be surprised how much he plays against Clemson and how many more targets he has than Oscar Delp. I think he much more closely resembles Brock Bowers, and he doesn't resemble Brock Bowers.
No,
but
no one does.
Is much more likely to fill some of the Brock Bowers role than Oscar Delp is. We've said this before. Oscar Delp is more like Darnell Washington than he is like Brock Bowers, and that's not a bad thing because Darnell Washington was incredibly valuable. And ask ETN who he wants out there great in front of him because it's big Oscar Delp, because that guy can flat out move people on the end of the line of scrimmage. And so both are going to be incredibly valuable. Both are going to play, but I don't hate that at all. I thought you were going to steal my thunder, and so I had me rambling for my last don't sleep on, but you didn't. I'm going to talk about the wide receiver position after we come back right after this.
And right after this is Game Time. Daniel and I love Game Time. You should too. Game Time is the official place that we go to find last-minute deals on tickets, which we're going to go ahead and booking if we win that Alabama game in Tuscaloosa. Just flights and hotels and the whole thing. And we'll be looking at Game Time for the SEC championship. I guarantee you, no joke. Right now, what is happening is all-in pricing is part of what Game Time brings. We have tried this before. We have done the algorithms.
It's the only way to buy tickets, guys. If you're not buying tickets on an app that has all-in pricing, it is by far the most frustrating thing that could ever happen in your life, because it's just hidden fees and tacked on at the end. And it's just, I thought my tickets cost this much. They actually cost double that amount of money. Not on Game Time.
Not on Game Time. Go ahead and check out those dogs. When you want to get tickets, go to Game Time. It's what Daniel and I use all the time. They have super deals. They have views from the seats that you're going to get. All-in pricing is fantastic. We love it. Go get it right now. Lowest price guaranteed. Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. All right, Daniel, I didn't steal your thunder. You were talking about wide receivers. What should we not sleep on for this final segment today?
Georgia has a problem, Clint.
No.
They have a... Now, you could argue it's a good problem. You could argue it's a bad problem, but Georgia got a problem. Let me start by reading the names of people that I am pretty confident are going to catch a ball this year for the University of Georgia. Are you ready?
Okay.
If you could just hit me with a count as I'm reading these names for me.
Go ahead.
Anthony Evans,
1.
Dom Lovett, Colby Young,
3.
Arian Smith,
4.
Mike Jackson,
5.
London Humphreys,
6.
Sokovie White,
7.
Cole Spear,
8.
Dylan Bell,
9.
Oscar Delp, Lawson
10.
Lucky,
11.
Ben Yurosek.
12.
Those are 12 people that I am confident are going to catch a ball this year. Now, I didn't even list people like Nitro Tuggle, who I think absolutely could catch a ball this year. Did I say Sokovie White, the freshman? I did say him. I'm pretty sure he's going to catch a ball. I mean, there's guys like Bell. There's other freshmen on this team that I think could absolutely step up. That doesn't even count backs out of the backfield that are going to be catching passes. Here's what I think you shouldn't sleep on. Georgia fans are going to watch this Clemson game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be paying attention to who's doing what, and somebody's gonna have a touchdown, and somebody's gonna do something. I think we feel pretty confident, Clint, that when that game starts and Georgia goes 3 wide, it's going to be Arian Smith on one side, Dylan Bell on the other side.
Guaranteed.
Dom Lovett in the slot.
Those
I think
are the 3.
We feel pretty confident about that set. Georgia's going to have somebody. This is what you shouldn't sleep on. Georgia's going to have somebody that's going to win them a football game at some point this year that's not even going to touch the football against Clemson. That's not even going to sniff. Probably isn't even going to be targeted against Clemson. So here's what you shouldn't sleep on. You shouldn't sleep on the wide receivers that haven't gotten into the game yet. Georgia's deeper than we've ever seen this position. And some of these guys throughout the season, Georgia gets 2 bye weeks this year. Throughout the season, some of these guys are going to be doing some things in practice that you're not going to notice because you're not going to be watching. The beat reporters are going to be busy asking about who's suspended and who's injured. And so they're not going to be paying any attention. And somebody's going to be slowly creeping their way up the depth chart. And Carson Beck's going to have a go-to weapon at the end of the year that didn't even get a target at the beginning of the year. That's how I think this wide receiver room is going to play out. I think you're going to see a guy, and I don't know if it's going to be him, but that guy could be a guy like London Humphreys, who maybe isn't ready yet to fully step in. It could be a guy like Scovey White, who's a true freshman and isn't in any way ready for college football yet, but by the end of the year is ready to step in. It could be a guy like Anthony Evans. Like, there are a lot of options on this Georgia football team. There are a lot of options for Carson Beck to throw the football to. And I think you're going to see guys emerge, not just out of fall camp, but you're going to see guys emerge throughout the regular season. We know guys are going to get hurt. They're going to get dinged up. Georgia's depth at receiver. Now, they lack the George Pickens star power that they have had in the past. But their depth at wide receiver and their ability to just keep rolling guys out there who are able to play winning competitive football is a huge advantage for this team. And I think there are going to be a lot of Georgia fans who are just going to write some people off. Like the way that Georgia fans have maybe written off a guy like Cole Spear because he gets recruited, he shows up at Georgia, and then he doesn't do anything for a little bit. And you just don't really hear from him at all. And so you assume that he's gone. But I mean, we've seen in the past, Clint, right? Like when a player doesn't transfer, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about that player, right? Like when they stay,
it's big.
There's a reason that they're staying.
That's exactly right. Georgia has all them receivers. I don't hate that at all. I think it's completely right. We're going to spread the love around. Carson Beck season incoming. He's going to have the statistics. Our wide receivers are going to be there. This is Locked On Bulldogs. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. We'll be back next week talking all them Bulldogs as we look forward to Clemson because we're here. Everybody, we made it. It's glorious. We'll see you all then.
See ya.